The following feature may contain references to sex, drugs and rock and roll. Oh, and some bad language too.
He takes the robe off. There's a knock on the door. I swear to God this is true. There's a knock on the door. A guy pokes his head in, looks straight at John in the gimp mask and the white pulled up sports socks and says, "I'm sorry mate, but you're gonna have to move your car." John from IT goes, "Oh, I'll go and get changed." Goes back in the room, comes out fully dressed, goes out, moves his car because he's causing an obstruction. We're waiting for 5 minutes. Me and the cameraman, my mate Giles, we're crying. By this point now, we're crying. He moves his car, he comes back in, he gets changed again, and now we're all set. We're ready to do this thing, it's about to happen. There's me, there's Giles, there's John from IT, gimped up. He goes over, stands next to the Roman column with the stinging nettles on top. And I say to him, "John," because obviously I don't want to be stood next to him when he's doing this. I don't need to be. I'm kind of behind the camera. So I say, "John, obviously I'm not going to be asking you any questions necessarily whilst you're doing this. I'm not going to be conducting an interview because, you know, it wouldn't be appropriate. But could you just talk us through it? Could you just commentate on the experience, what it feels like, what's going through your head, what's happening?" And he said, "Yeah, all right, I'll do that." He's talking normally now because we've had to cut a larger hole for his mouth in a latex gimp mask. So I'm stood back. Me and Giles are behind the camera like this. And John proceeds. He sticks his hand in, he takes a handful of nettles and immediately applies them to his Johnson. And he's now doing it. Gimp mask, white sports socks, and we're killing ourselves. And he's there with a handful of nettles like that. And he's not saying anything. He's really quiet. And I'm going, "Talk us through it, John. John, talk us through it." And he's going, "Oh, no. Oh, that really is excruciating." And it was on the word, I'll never forget those words as long as I live. "That really is quite excruciating." And it was on the word excruciating that I couldn't contain myself. I'm crying, I'm doubled up. And you know, sometimes you laugh so hard, you think you're actually gonna vomit. I was laughing that hard and the tears are going in my mouth. That really is quite excruciating. This went on for about 8 minutes. 8 minutes, and I'm gonna be honest, because no one knows who he is. His identity was never revealed. He couldn't get wood. And God love him, he was trying. He was really trying, and to be fair, he was more concerned about the fact that his hands were getting stung. And at one point he said, "I should have worn some latex gloves. I should have got some surgical gloves." I don't know what I was thinking. I've never done this before. That is excruciating. And he said, "I'm ever so sorry." He put the nettles down. He said, "I'm sorry, lads. I'm gonna have to call it a day. I'm gonna have to stop." We said, "That's all right, John. That's absolutely fine. We've got it. Everything's covered." He takes the gimp mask off. Now I'm faced with a naked man with a semi and a pair of sports socks. He goes into his bag. And at one point, it was a weird thing. At this moment, around this time, I remember his mobile phone going off. And he had like a weird ringtone. It was like a children's TV theme. It was like, I can't remember. The one element of this story I can never remember is what the theme was. But it was something like the Magic Roundabout, you know, something like that. So there's this man with a semi, naked apart from the socks. His penis is covered in welts. I mean, it's red raw. I've never seen anything like it. And all of a sudden you hear something like, "Hello? Who? Anne? I'm sorry, love, you got the wrong number." Oh, that's the fucking wrong number. Now, let's step outside of this for a minute. And just imagine you're the person on the other end of that phone. Now, we've all put the wrong number in and we've called someone by mistake. But I just often think to myself late at night when I'm trying to sleep, person that had called could have seen the image, could have seen what I could have seen. What a sight to behold, you know? So someone calls him, I'm sorry you got the wrong number. He takes out Waspies. Do you know what Waspies is? It's like, you know, if you get stung by a bee, you get a little bee sting or someone's giving you a bite, get a little bit of Waspies, spray it on, it goes away. I'm not sure Waspies is really good enough to take care of a situation like stinging nettle burns on your penis. I don't know if that's going to work, but nonetheless, he's got one hand on his penis, he's extended it, and in the other, he's got the Waspies. Oh. He uses the whole bottle. Oh, I knew I should have brought more Waspies. 50 quid. 50 quid this guy got paid. And he worked it in IT.